Call our organizational meeting to order. Could we stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Guess we turn the meeting over to Treasurer. Right, are we going to do the oath of office? Has everybody did theirs?
If you have your oaths of office, and if you would like to stand, I am going to let you read through them together. We'll do this all at one time. I think you, with the document in front of you, and if you will raise your right hand, and then follow suit with the reading of your oath.
I, Scott River, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Bradford Board of Education, exempted village school district, Miami County, Ohio.
And
Watch
if
that
you
last up a little bit.
would sign those and return those to me at the end of the meeting, you are officially in office. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Another 4-year sentence? No.
So next is roll call.
Dr. Swab.
Here.
Mrs. Brewer.
Here.
Mr. Biesecker.
Here.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Here.
Next is election of officers for 2024. So we have nominations for president.
Mr. Schwab.
I was late.
Don't let it happen again. I was too.
And a second.
Okay,
Was
that
that a
was
first?
I heard
Trey.
Trey and Scott.
Okay.
I'll do a second.
Okay.
Any other nominations? None. Roll call.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker.
Yes.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Abstain. Next item is nominations for office of vice president. I nominate Maria. Ty?
I'll second that.
Trey? Any other? None? Motion for Maria Brewer as vice president. And a second, roll call.
Mrs. Brewer.
Abstain.
Mr. Biesecker.
Yes.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. Next is setting up our meetings for 2024. I think you sent us a overview of how those
It's
roll
here
out.
too.
I did. And basically what we talked about are different days of the months, or different days of the weeks. You have in front of you a spreadsheet of the different days. Basically, if you're looking down each column, that would be, for example, the second Tuesday of the month are listed in the second column there. What's listed in red are conflicts with holidays. The 2 orange blocks are soft conflicts with pumpkin show. And then the green 4 columns are my recommendations. I thought it was a little easier to explain and more visual to look at it this way than just saying, hey, the second.
So if we go with the second Tuesday like we are now, I mean, that seems to work for me very well. But if we go with that, could we just change the pumpkin show date maybe to the 7th?
Sure. But realize we're the third Tuesday, not the second Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Well, then that one, oh, that's a second, we are at the, yeah.
Yes,
So the,
typically, not tonight, but third Tuesday is where we have them.
Oh, is that right now?
yeah.
Oh, that's just,
So tonight is because we have to be done by the 10th. or
Organizational
whatever.
meeting
Right.
before the 15th.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, the third Tuesday, what we have now doesn't have any conflicts. Maybe LSBA, doesn't it? Or
No,
not?
nope,
Okay,
because that's a Monday and Tuesday thing. We come back on Tuesday night would be fine.
okay.
Now, I will say we've got 2 parents of ball players here. Tuesday night games are going to be a conflict there with those. So we've discussed a little bit on Wednesdays. I don't know how big of a difference that'll be with anybody else's schedule, but those are.
It's, Scott, you have a hospital meeting on one of those?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, but it varies. It's the Wednesday after the second Thursday.
Well,
So about
we can make them that way if we need to, set them up a little bit different.
What do you guys want? What fits into your guys' work schedule? And
I don't plan anything up forward to that.
I was just gonna suggest Wednesday just because there is never a sporting event, but, so there wouldn't be any conflicts for that, but
I can do
it doesn't
that.
make any difference.
I liked
If the
Wednesdays.
third
I was so
Tuesday
used to
works,
it.
Third Tuesday works, that's fine too.
And if we need to make it the second Wednesday after the first Thursday or whatever,
I think if we do like the second Wednesday,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be,
You definitely will avoid.
Oh, the second Wednesday he has on here too, right?
yeah, that would just be the pumpkin show, but that would avoid your guys' ball games. Because Tuesday hits those.
True.
Does that work for you to get your reports and such that you would need?
Oh, I will not have any problems. You don't always see them, but I usually have them done the first day of the month.
So is that what you guys want to do the second Wednesday?
Wednesday, that's fine with me.
Yeah, this is with your guys' game. You don't want to miss those, so we can look around.
you want to do something different with the October date?
Yeah, what would you like to do with that?
You want to move it back a week, which would be the 16th that month? Will that run into your meetings, Dr. Swam?
Yeah, hospital.
And realistically, I mean, maybe that's, I don't know if it's a true conflict during pumpkin show or not. I mean,
We should
Wednesday's no confetti week or night. I mean,
That's a big night for me though.
It is. Queen contest and everything else going on there.
Since I go through these security things, nothing into my schedule.
And then we would still be fine on January because it's the 15th, or does it have to be before the 15th?
Has to be within the first 15 days of January.
So we'll be fine having
So
it
even
on
if
the
it's on
15th.
Wednesday the 15th, that would still be fine.
Let's just get to this October, it's the only one I can think of. I don't want to schedule that far ahead either. I think we should be okay if my schedule's locked up. It doesn't want to look that far ahead either. That probably means there's so many meetings I can't get it to reset.
Overload.
And we can always change it as it gets
If it gets closer, yeah, but I think that would be, does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, so we decided on the second Wednesday
Wednesday of the month.
in October
to be determined.
to be, you want me to put it as the 9th?
Just put it as the 9th, and then
Okay.
if it gets
And we
closer,
change
if
it.
I see any conflict, we can talk about it.
And we're gonna stick with 6:30?
Can we put it as a 16th? That third Wednesday?
Sure. That's up to you guys.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
just that month, just the
Absolutely.
pumpkin show week.
Sure. If
And
that's all right
then
with you
as
guys.
it comes closer, then we could have it changed if we need.
As
Because
long
this
as
is the
you
second.
establish the date tonight and we place it on the board, for advertisement, then if it's changed, it just becomes a special meeting that we run as a regular meeting. So if it's established tonight,
It's not a
and you
big
have to change it. We just advertise a little differently.
Because I will have a hospital meeting on the 15th,
Tuesday,
not on a Tuesday. We're doing the Wednesdays, right?
right?
Yes.
So according to this, the Wednesday would be the 16th.
That's good, I said 2025. I really spun that fast.
And I will put these on the calendar after
Yes.
tonight and send you all a Google invite, so.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so I will have a meeting on the 16th.
Maybe the 15th, maybe the 15th?
That'll be pumpkin show too.
No, I think it's over the,
No, 15th to be clear.
yeah, the 9th would be pumpkin show, so it would be over.
Yeah, no, we can do that.
So we'll make it the 15th?
Yeah, just Tuesday, the 15th in October work.
Yeah.
Because I do have a meeting.
Tuesday, October 15th, every day else is the second Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody good?
And that should miss the, like, senior night, that should be a
Yeah,
week
October,
before.
well,
It'll be
Basketball,
fine.
basketball start.
Those are pieces I don't know.
Yeah,
I
So you should be okay
think
with that.
so, but.
yes, we should be missing it, because it's usually the week or so before. Okay,
That's true.
Okay, 6:30,
Yeah, does that work okay?
6:30.
and we have talked about the difference between here and the Hickory Room. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to try the Hickory Room?
I think either's okay. This is when you have our parents and
It's a
everybody.
little bigger.
we've had some
Family
big
atmosphere,
crowds the
yeah.
last couple.
Let's
I think
stay
this
here.
will be fine.
Is that good with everybody?
Yep.
Okay, done.
So we don't have to vote on that, it's already done. Next is approving establish the board education fund at $6,000 as it has been.
So
I
moved.
moved to, second,
Any discussion on that? It's been plenty, has it not?
Oh, yes, it's been fine.
Don't we get anywhere close to that?
Roll call for approval.
Mrs. Brewer,
yes.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. Next is authorizing the treasurer for the following duties that were listed. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion? They're the same ones that we approve annually. Roll call for approval.
Mrs. Brewer,
yes.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. Next item is authorization of the superintendent to perform his duties as listed for the upcoming year. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second. Pass.
Any discussion or questions regarding those? And those are the standards which we
Oh,
always
no
do
change,
annually.
right?
Roll call for approval.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. Next item is H through J, and that's the public purpose resolution. And items 7 through 10 are the next areas to be approved. I have a motion to approve those items
I move to approve.
and a second.
Second.
Any discussion over those? It's our normal housekeeping things that we set up every year. Roll call for approval.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Next, we need to appoint the Upper Valley Career Center Board Representative.
I think I'm there until next year. I think
It
I'm in,
it was a longer than 1 year term.
it was a 3-year
So you
term.
should be
Last year was
okay.
first, but
But I think we do it annually,
that's,
so
yeah, that's okay.
you're willing to continue that?
Yes.
Anybody else want to go to another meeting? Now, any volunteers for distinguished alumni?
I'll do it again this year.
So Maria for the Upper Valley Career Center Board Rep and Scott will do the distinguished alumni and community relations. Motion to approve those. I'll move to motion to approve in a second.
Second.
Thanks. And roll call for approval.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker,
Abstain.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call for adjournment.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes. So you guys didn't miss the meeting. It was, every year we have to do an organizational meeting that kind of sets everything in pace for the year and approve all those things. And that started at 6. So we try to get that business stuff over before we do the regular meeting. So you guys were on time, and really, it was still a little bit early. We can start in a couple minutes if anybody needs to get something.
And
So a few more minutes.
what we can do too, is everybody here? Do you know?
I can't reply there. I think so.
I'll do a little roll call here. Let me see.
100 meetings is the only one.
I was gonna say, I thought we're missing somebody.
The other high
Okay. And if we need to, what we can do is switch reports around,
Yeah, same.
and I can do mine before we get to spotlights and do some of those and postpone until 6:30 if that's good.
Yes, we do.
Also, well, we can read it, well, then we can revisit if he shows up.
Sure.
Okay.
We don't technically need to do pledge of allegiance.
We never did. I never said that.
It's listed, but I'm not sure we need to.
She's already back. Yeah.
I'll just put that we did it at 6:08,
Yep, there you go.
and then we're fine.
I'd like to go ahead and call to order our regular meeting. And would you like to give us a roll call for the regular portion of the meeting?
Dr. Swab,
Here.
Mrs. Brewer,
Here.
Mr. Bisecker,
Here.
Mr. Manuel,
Here.
Mrs. Hill.
Here.
Next item is I can welcome everyone here, and I kind of give you the background of why we were already rolling when you got here. Next is reviewing and approving the agenda and minutes. Do we have any addition or deletions to the agenda that we have?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Thanks. Roll call for approving the printed agenda.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
It's our first meeting.
Calm down, you
Yeah.
two.
Weird having another missus here, huh?
Mrs. Brewer,
It's our first meeting of the year. We gotta get this out of our system.
No, it was supposed to start at 6:30, right? Next item is approving the December 19th minutes. We have a motion to approve
So,
and a second.
Second.
Thanks, Scott. Any roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
yes.
So next, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our administrative team for our student spotlights.
So we have 3 elementary students that we're recognizing today. They come from the kindergarten to kindergarten class. So we'll start off with Harper Johnson. So Harper, if you want to come up in here, say hi. How are you today, Harper? Good. So, and Harper was nominated by Mrs. Ridout, and this is what Mrs. Ridout had to say. I would like to recognize Harper Johnson for my kindergarten class as this month's student spotlight. She is the daughter of Jeff and Holly Johnson. Harper enjoys animals and playing with her younger brother, Luke. Harper came into kindergarten a little shy, but she's warmed up and is a wonderful addition to my kindergarten classroom. Harper came to kindergarten knowing her letters and her letter sounds, so we are diving into reading. Do you like reading? She's doing a phenomenal job blending sounds into words and using context clues to help figure out unfamiliar words in the story. She's working on sentence writing as well. She is remembering to put a space between her words and punctuation at the end of her sentences. Harper also receives challenging math instruction with Mrs. Garrett during our guided math portion of the day. She is doing a wonderful job with her projects in that class. This has helped to enhance her math instruction. Harper has been very helpful in taking care of our class pet, Petey the rabbit. When Petey needs to be taken care of, she jumps right in to help. roams around our classroom during the day, so when it's time to lock him up, she has been able to recognize that we need to shut him in the cage. She tells him goodbye every day after school by petting him before leaving. I am really enjoying having her in my classroom this school year because she brings kindness and helpfulness to our classroom as well as model behavior. These are the many reasons why I would like to congratulate this amazing Bradford kindergarten student, Harper Johnson. Great job, Harper, and congratulations.
Smile. Congratulations on
Over here. Okay, our second student that has been nominated is Thomas Howard. Didn't recognize you without your glasses today.
I know.
He's back.
And he was nominated by Mrs. Clark. I'd like to nominate Thomas Howerton as our student spotlight for the month of January. Thomas is receiving this award because he has made huge growth during the first half of the school year. He has strengthened his independent academic and coping skills a great deal. Thomas is a great role model for his classmates. He completes his work in a timely manner, follows directions, and works hard. Lastly, Thomas works well in large and small groups. He is an active participant, always willing to lend a helping hand. Thomas is a pleasure to have in class. Great job, Thomas, and congratulations. And then our next student of the month is Weston Johnson, who's nominated by Mrs. Fry, and I'll have Mrs. Fry read why she nominated.
Okay, I have chosen Weston Johnson for the Spotlight Student Award. Weston is 6 years old and he loves school. His favorite color is orange and his favorite things to do are baseball and play with his brother, sometimes. He also loves to play with his toys when he is at home. Weston is an absolute pleasure to teach. He always comes to school with a positive attitude and a smile on his face. Weston can identify all the letters and sounds that we have learned and more. Although it doesn't always come easy for him, he always gives me his very best effort. I always love working with Weston because not only does he work hard, but he always has a story to tell. Weston is a great friend to his peers. If they need help in any way, he is our first volunteer. Congratulations, Weston. I'm so proud of the progress you have made in my classroom, and I'm excited to continue watching you grow. Great job.
Here. There we go. Perfect.
Smile.
Smile.
Congratulations. So now we have our junior high school student of the month, and our first student of the month is Hunter Davis. Hunter, you may come up to the stage. And he was nominated by Mrs. Fair. This is what she had to say. I would like to nominate Hunter Gaines as our student spotlight for the month of January. Hunter's attendance, effort, and willingness to participate in class makes him an ideal student. He has great ideas and he is always willing to lend a helping hand around the school and classroom. Hunter actively engages in classroom discussions, asks great questions, and always has a desire to learn more. He's involved in band, football, powerlifting, and gives 100% in everything he does. Hunter represents our school really well and shows what it means to be a Bradford Red River. Great job, Hunter. Congratulations.
Always smiling.
Congratulations. And last but not least, we have Kendall. And she was nominated by Mrs. Walters. Mrs. Walters said, I would like to nominate Kendall Welty as our student spotlight for the month of January. I chose Kendall because she is motivated and always does more than is asked of her. Her strong work ethic and positive attitude make her a joy to have in class. She was always going above and beyond and taking her learning into her own hands. She's already taken SM classes to get a jump on her college career with the goal of becoming a nurse practitioner and working in the ER. Kendall, congratulations on being named Bradford High School student spotlight. Congratulations.
Are you up next?
I didn't know if.
Yep.
Okay.
So before we begin the next section and go through all the boring reports, we can give a few minutes. Does everyone like to take the opportunity to go home and get their evening started? We'll give you guys a few minutes to do that if you'd like. We appreciate everybody coming. We don't want to intrude too much into your evening. Thanks for coming.
And I'd like to get a picture of everybody out that received their award if I could out in the hallway.
And each of the kids will be on the marquee for the month of, the rest of this month until the as well. So,
And thank you,
Happy
like,
drive
on short
by.
notice, and you all made it, so thank you.
And congratulations to everybody.
Yes, thank you all.
well deserved.
We usually take.
Well, you got it. That's
Hey, Heather. Say it more. Say it more.
There's a lot of people to herd together.
It was.
That was a good turnout.
That problem is. We'll put one on this side.
Thank you very much. Have a good
You want me to talk next? Okay. The next part is staff spotlight. Typically, we recognize staff that have gone above and beyond in our district, and for two reasons. One, this month we'll recognize very deserving people, but two, this is National School Board Appreciation Week or month. So I'd like to say on behalf of the entire district, our community, our students and our staff, thank you for doing what you do. It's a thankless job. And this was something I was going to wait until later, but in 2017, when I started here, we worked with the school board and we worked together as a group and developed not only the belief statement, but the code of conduct. And I've never heard another superintendent talk as well as what I respect you guys on how much you believe in what's actually up there. Rarely do you see a school board that truly puts students and staff first. And every decision I've ever seen, the question, if anything comes up, was how is this going to help our students? And hearing that is refreshing, to know that you always do have that true, genuine respect and commitment to our kids. I, for one, find that liberating. So thank you so much for doing what you do. So thank you. There's gifts here for each of you. If you haven't looked at them yet, check them
They are
out.
perfect.
Kind of cool little things. Sandy helped us put those together, but we typically do a box like that for our new employees. Thought that was fitting that we did each one for all the youth here for our kids here. So thank you so much. And with that, Mr. Barr.
So the publication class put together this short video for you guys. I'm not sure.
I think I have to do it here.
Thank you, school board, for all you
You
do.
know, this sounds like you don't have sound.
Closed caption
I
version.
don't know how to fix that, I'm sorry. But everybody was saying thank you as they went through, so.
To each individual.
Yes.
Tucker, leave it off there. So since our
Thank you, school
previous,
board, for all you do.
Hey, you wanted to see it again, right?
since our previous meeting, we have only been in school for 5 days, which seems kind of crazy. So Michelle and I don't have anything to really report on. We haven't had anything going on in the building. We've come back from Christmas break. Had a PD day, the staff did very well with, we had a gifted training, we had a value-added training, and then wit and wisdom with some of our elementary teachers. So, it was a great day. It was a great way to transition back from having 2 weeks off and then having students in the building then on last Wednesday. So we do have some upcoming events. We don't have school next Monday due to MLK Day. The Dark County Spelling Bee is the 18th, the end of the 9 weeks, so we're halfway through the year. It is next week, and we do have a 2-hour early release that day. We have a work day on Monday for the teachers, and then there's an athletic boosters meeting and a PTO meeting. Parent-teacher conferences, and this is one thing I want to stress, is on the 7th of February from 3:15 to 7. As many students, parents out there that we can get into the building, that'd be phenomenal, especially midpoint of the year, check progress of your students. And then there's a blood drive on the 12th, and that date's not correct. So
Valentine's Day.
it's Valentine's Day, so 14th of February.
All right, so we are breaking technology tonight, sorry.
I think you skipped through the sports and went to that, so you have to go back one.
Yeah, it's just froze up.
Oh.
Good job, Mr. Barr. Not been enough out of you.
I'm okay with that. You don't have to ask me twice.
I thought, if you go out of it and come back, maybe it would work, but
Yeah, it's not working. We have a ton of athletic events coming up. We're in the middle of winter sports. If you want to check our website, Railroaders, or Bradford Railroaders Athletics.com, go to it. There's plenty of information about all of the different basketball, boys and girls, events that are coming up. So, and our girls basketball team is becoming more successful and competitive. Boys basketball is kind of on a roll right now. They won the holiday tournament. Couldn't be happier about that. I believe, oh, there we go.
there you go.
So like I said, here's all of our events that we've got coming up. If you want to go ahead and get on our website, Bradford Railroaders Athletics.com, you can see all of the different events with weather and everything. Please make sure you keep up to date in terms of if there's any cancellations or movements or anything. And especially with our junior high events, we're noticing, unfortunately, a lot of the other schools, some of them don't have enough 7th graders or 8th graders to play. So we've had to, I just would hate for somebody to go drive all the way to Preble Shawnee and for a 7th grade game and miss the message. So make sure that you're signed up for all of our feeds in order to get that information. Like I said, we did win the Covington holiday tournament. Was a huge success. We had 3 student athletes that were first team all tournament. Landon Wills and Hudson Hill were both selected, and then Owen Cannon was the MVP of the entire tournament. So last game scoring 24 points, with a big win over Covington, which we can all agree, anytime we can beat Covington is a good day.
Thank you.
It won't work.
Thanks. Any questions?
Just one question, Scott. Is the huddle working? Do you have to pay for the huddle?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, because it seems like there's been a lot of questions. I've heard a lot of buzz out and about, I want to watch the games, but I'm not sure how.
It's a subscription and it's for the
Okay.
season. I'm not 100% sure what the subscription is.
So it's like you pay for basketball season?
Yes,
You pay for,
or I believe, and I'm not 100% correct. So I mean, anybody out there that's listening, they can contact Chloe and get more information on that. I think you can pay by a game as well.
I
You
think
can?
you can too.
You can pay by game, and I think you can pay by the month, because I just looked at it. The only thing I couldn't figure out is if I could pay to join Covington's and watch it from ours, because we didn't have the coverage of the Covington game, but Covington had the coverage through something, you know? So I didn't know if I was joined ours, if I could still watch theirs, or I.
So if Covington doesn't utilize Huddle,
Uh-huh.
they may utilize another
Right.
Platform.
Right.
Then, and we don't know what that is. I'm not sure, but yeah.
It might be good to
All of our
know how
home games can
many
be viewed.
have subscribed
Mhm.
to it and then maybe put something else back out, because I don't think there's too many people that know either how much it costs or how to get on.
That's a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Because it doesn't work for the away games, because if the away games,
Right.
the other service, which is
Correct.
what, nationals, it was what was around during COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A lot of the schools have that, so you have to have both to see
Right.
away games if you don't want to travel or to do the home games. You have to have both of those screens.
And that's the bad thing. I may be wrong on this, but watching Covington, you couldn't just go to our subscription.
you couldn't.
to it.
No.
You had to go to Covington's
Covington's.
subscription to do that and buy the one game piece.
If you
And
go to our
there's-
website, there is a Huddle link on there. But I think a tutorial or something out there to the public, the official, for people to understand how to actually get on. It's new.
yeah.
This is
I think there'd be a
for
lot of people that would enjoy, I mean, the stands are full right now, which is great.
Mhm.
For the boys game, I can't speak a lot to the girls games because I haven't been to too many, but it's great to see so many in the stands. You don't want to make it too easy for people to just get on and watch from home, but I do think it's a real advantage to have.
Well, we do get a kickback from Huddle a little bit.
Yeah,
It's also nice for, alumni that live out of state, that want to just keep up with our athletics and everything.
Or older people that can't make it out.
Yes.
For somebody who's.
especially in the winter.
Weather.
Thank you, Michelle.
Well, I'm getting there too, so.
The grandparents, they go to Florida for the winter.
Right.
and watch the grandkids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next is Maria. Do you have any-
I do not have anything, because we haven't really been anywhere since we've been here, so.
It's going so fast. Joe. do you have any-
I have one thing to present, and I thought my slide was right there. Well, I may have broken it. There it is. We have two school calendars that we presented to the staff last week. All staff had the chance to vote on which of the two calendars they liked better, with 64.5% vote. This was the calendar the staff chose. So it is here tonight to give to the public, and it's not actually being publicly shared right now. But those of you watching, if you can't see this here tonight, we will have it on our website, and we will also have it available in our board office, and we'll even make sure we have it up in the front office. If you want to stop and get a copy of it, we have copies that we will gladly share out, but we have that for public information and public input for about a month. And then in February, we will vote on this. And if no changes are made, this will be our official calendar after that February board meeting. So if you do have questions or comments, please get in touch with me and we will go from there. But this is what the committee had put together to present tonight. So if there are no questions with that, that is my entire report.
Do you guys have any questions over the calendar? Thanks, Joe. Sure. Probably have any updates or words of wisdom?
Just a couple of things that I just want to bring to your attention, and I'll try to do this very quickly. Our building was appraised, is going through an appraisal process right now, so we can start bringing everything up to its true value as part of our insurance. I suggested to the committee a few years ago that we needed to have reappraisal of the building, so as part of our insurance coverage, they are doing that. We were selected as one of the initial ones to be done. So we are getting that accomplished. Mr. Miller spent probably 7 or 8 hours with them going through our plans. very extensive. Now I've got to pull some financial information together for them with the newer properties that we have. And this should bring us up to date so that we have full coverage for our insurance and make sure that that's taken care of. One of the things that I want to bring to your attention is that over the holidays, we have virtually a new kitchen in a lot of ways. We have a new freezer, have a new dishwasher. We have the walk-in coolers. So we're making great strides. We've probably put in $150,000 worth of equipment in our kitchen to bring it up to speed. So that's going quite well. That was predominantly from a grant, and that's being implemented. And we're still working on basis of that, but that's coming to fruition, and really a nice addition. I went down to the kitchen and looked at it, and I think it's going to make things work a lot nicer for those girls down there, and they do a terrific job of taking care of the kids. And Mr. Hurst, we advertised the building. The plans are out there. Hopefully we'll get a lot of interested people with our buildings, but there are some, we've already got some preliminary ideas of where we're going to be with this building. And if we have a mild winter, I hope we get through this cold spell and we don't see any more of it, and get this project moving. So, and that's really the rest of it. We've just had year-end work. It's a very busy time of year in the treasurer's office, and we're trying to get some things completed, but we have a lot of additional activities going on with grants and various things, and we're working towards probably having a very busy summer. So with that, I'll conclude my report.
Thanks. Any questions for Carly? If not, any public participation? Did you have any requests? Nope, haven't done. Next is the financial reports from the treasurer. If you'd like to give us a high-level overview of what we want to approve.
Certainly, typical financial journal. We have check registers, the then and nows, the approvals and transfers for the month, permanent appropriation. And then we have donations, Gareth and Athena Beechler for $500, Cindy Hill for $500 for the Greg Hill Scholarship, Dave Larson for $50 for the Greg Hill Scholarship, and then the Dark County Center for the Arts, $500 for the high school art department. Then we have a donation from the Covington Eagles in the amount of $10,000. Jeff Weary for $125 for a Turtle sponsorship, another Charles and Linda Patty, and Mike and Deb Zell for that same scholarship. And then we have a partnership with HCA Asset Management LLC, who's partnered with the EPCU, who is doing our appraisal that I mentioned earlier.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thanks. Any discussions or specific questions or things you need more information on?
Why is that free?
Pardon?
Why is the appraisal free?
Why is the appraisal?
Don't typically pay for appraisals?
We're paying for it through our insurance. But the problem with, and I will tell you that what has happened with our insurance with the escalating cost, our buildings in the insurance pool as a whole are not properly covered, and they've recognized that, so they feel like it's in the best interest. It's going to raise our rates.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll ultimately pay for it.
Well, just the appraisal itself, it just says free.
Well, it is, that is really kind of a misnomer, and I don't have any problem taking it out. We will pay for it in the long run, but it's a very important element to have, because should we have any accident, we're supposed to get replacement coverage, but you're not going to go beyond the extent of the cost of the building, and our buildings are under appraised.
Right.
So it was important to me that we get in this first round, that we not wait 5 years to find out where we're at, and the cost as a percentage of the building is very minimal. So no, it's not free, but it is a wise thing to do financially.
There's just no upfront cost to get them to come here.
Right, right.
We don't have
I
to
will
approve
tell
it.
you, we're not gonna pay anything more than those people who wait 3 to 4 years out there because they're gonna raise them all at the same time.
Any other questions? If not, roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes,
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
we have no old business. Our new business items are listed, and Joe can give us a high-level overview of those items.
Sure, I only have 5 consent agenda pieces. First one is for Herb Jones for the yearbook. Second one, Wendy is going to move over to Masters Plus 15 for all the hard work she's done with her classes. Number 3, Sharon Fike has asked for some dock days. We're talking about switching some days around or trading some Saturdays and those type of things to move those around, so that's why the if needed is in there. Number 4, we're talking about an intervention program for our 3rd grade reading guarantee. And number 5 is setting our tutoring rate for $20 for the year.
The motion to approve the items presented.
So moved.
And a second. Thanks, Scott. Any discussions or questions for Joe?
So the 5 is for the 4?
5 is for the 4 and anything outside of that. In fact, I should add, number 5 is actually approving all teachers to be eligible to be a tutor. So if we have Mrs. So-and-so in whatever grade want to be a tutor, this theoretically gives us the clearance to pay her. So, but yes, it's that and more.
None other, roll call.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Next item is approving dock days as needed for the request of Sally Brewer through January 23, 2024. Motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Discussions or questions?
This is as needed. I think we're at 3 days right now. So.
Roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Abstain.
Next is a construction, right? Which is approving the change orders in the track project with Thunderbird Farms and excavating. Motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any clarification for us?
I'm gonna add that in, just to make it public. We've worked with both Thunderbird Excavating, and Heiberger Paving. Thunderbird Farms has added 2 things to the list that they're yet going to complete for us, which is some drainage pieces and fertilizing our grass. Those are the 2 things that they promised that they would come back and do. We went over and met with, the owner of the firm this last week and negotiated our price and actually have a reduction in what we're gonna pay. So we're very pleased. He did a wonderful job for our project. He was the earth moving guy out here and basically acted as a GC for the whole project. Absolutely amazing company, absolutely amazing job that they've done out there, and he was a great guy to work with. The second one, Heiberger Paving, we went over and talked to them. They have actually given us an extended warranty for the same price that we were paying before. So instead of a 5-year warranty that we had before, I thought it was going to be a 7-year warranty with paperwork, I think it said 8.
No.
So we went from a 5-year warranty to an 8-year warranty on the track surface. And again, no additional payment, so no additional cost to the school district or anything else. So we're very pleased with what we got out of that. And both companies very good to work with, highly recommend them to anybody, but I feel like we've got a wonderful product out here, and it's to thank these good companies that we work with here. And these change orders here will help accomplish that.
Excellent. Any other questions for Joe? And roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Next item is an executive session.
We can go in for some short.
Do that. So it would be approving an executive session for item G1 on your agenda. Motion to approve.
So moved.
And
Well,
second,
I didn't catch that one.
Trey.
You got Trey, I'll second. For Trey and Tim.
And a roll call for entering executive session.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
6:57.
And there'll be no formal voting after the executive session. Thank you everybody for coming.
Hey, second.
It's 6:55.
When I got a text from Joe, I thought, I better look at this, because I had just looked to see the 6:30, but I didn't look at the, I only looked at the agenda for regular. So I'm like flying out.
And I was pushing to get out,
I have 7:25.
out of executive session at 7:25. So roll call for adjournment. No, I'm sorry, motion for adjournment.
So you want to
Second.
mention that there's a discussion of a meeting on January 25th,
Okay.
that we may need a meeting for that to resolve the bids on the building.
Okay. So that is on the,
So that's a
Potential.
probability for 6:30 on the 25th.
potentially, more to come as that gets more clarification.
Exactly.
A motion to adjourn?
Got Scott B. second and Ray
Second.
Brewer.
That's quick.
Yep.
Roll call for adjournment.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hill,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes,
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Got 7:26.
thanks. Thanks everybody for their time.